Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, family? What's up, guys? Yeah. Let me see. What's going on, family? Shout out to you guys tuning in this morning. Hope you guys are all having a phenomenal Friday morning, Friday afternoon, depending on where you guys are tuning in from. It is your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with you guys this morning. Decided to randomly go actually start this live stream, right? I don't know why, but I was just laying down, and I was like, yo, let me just go live on my channel. Man, I haven't been live on my channel in a while for you guys. And I want to just come out here this Friday morning and pretty much just finish out the week strong, right? Give you guys my thoughts and opinions as to what I believe the market can do this week, or at least for today to end the week off, and also some thoughts and opinions, guys, going into next week as well, so that we are ultimately prepared for anything. All right, so just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. Make sure I have this right. All right. Yep, that's gonna have to work. All right, but how are you guys feeling in the chat, family? How are you guys feeling? How you guys feeling? Matthew, what's up? What's up? Jose, how are you doing? Tobias, what is going on? Jamie, what's up? What's up? How are you doing as well? Shout out to all you guys tuning in right now. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you guys for rocking with me this morning on this random live stream. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, though, family, please let me know in the chat. Right, drop a 3 in the chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. If not, I do have a different microphone that should be a little bit louder. But just let me know how this microphone is doing. All right, let me know if this microphone is good, guys, if the sound is perfect, if it's good, if it's low. All right, perfect. So it is working. All right, perfect, guys. So what's going on, man? How are you guys feeling this morning, family? How was your guys' trading week? All right, how are you guys feeling, and how was your guys' trading week this week overall? All right, what do you guys think? Was your trading week lit, or was your trading week right? Because I'll tell you guys a little bit about my trading week, man. It's definitely been a very interesting week this week. um and I say interesting very lightly, because it has been a very interesting week for damn sure. And it's actually been one of my I could say it's been a week, guys, that really didn't go as planned for me. I definitely ended up taking, I didn't take too many trades, but I did take a lot more losses than I would have liked to this week. And even more break evens, right? Like my entire week was either straight a L or break even, L, break even, L, win, break even, L, right? It's been a very up and down week overall, guys. And I'm actually pretty excited about the fact that I was able to still manage myself correctly, though, right? Even though I did have a very rough week this week, I was able to manage and maneuver my way out of certain positions that allowed me to not lose as much as I could have lost. All right, because I really should have been down, a very good amount. But because I just adjusted, right? I adjusted to the market conditions. I adjusted to what price action was doing. I was able to maneuver out of certain positions, well before they actually went to stop loss itself, guys, right? So it's definitely been a very interesting week for me, up and down week overall, guys. But, that's the name of the game, all right? That's literally a part of the process, right? It is what it is. We're not always going to be able to come on here, guys, and have phenomenal weeks. In fact, this is probably going to be one of my first losing weeks, actual losing weeks in a while, right? So this is something that I was pretty much overdue, I would say. All right, because when you're going through massive winning streaks, guys, and you feel like everything is hitting on full cylinders, that's when you do need to take a little bit of a step back, right? Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a chill pill, right? Because one thing about seeing consistent wins as a trader, it could really overinflate your ego, right? And you become very egotistical, thinking that, you'll never take no more losses, right? And I think this week was one of those weeks, guys, where I needed the market to smack me around a little bit, right? To humble me a little bit, bring me back down to earth. Because, again, I felt myself starting to do things that I knew was against my rules. And it's because of the fact that I've been winning a lot lately, right? And when you start to do that, guys, right, when you're going through these winning streaks and you start to do things that are outside of your rules, right? Like you start to, overexpose yourself more. You start to take larger positions, You know, you start to risk a lot more than what you're supposed to. You know, the market needs to humble you, all right? It needs to humble you early on so that you do not go too crazy and you end up blowing your account, right? So overall, guys, you know, this is all a part of the game, right? You're gonna have wins, you know, you're gonna have weeks where you're winning, and then you're gonna have certain weeks where it's just, you know, you got to get humbled real quick, right? It's about how you rebound though after that, right? So it's about how I rebound now from this tough week that I've had, and how I'm able to position myself into next week. Right, I say this a lot, guys, right? But if you've never experienced a crazy losing streak, especially once you already, you know, became profitable, once you figured out a system, a strategy that works, right? Once you figure all that stuff out and you start to see consistent wins, the hardest test for you is going to be once you experience that big set of losses again, right? Because if you're a newer trader and all you're experiencing is losses, then it is what it is, right? But if you finally found some consistency and you started to win, but then you get smacked around a little bit, it's how you rebound from that, right? Reality is, family, most traders are not able to rebound, you know, after getting smacked around a little bit, right? But for me, I'm so mentally tough, and I've been in this game long enough now that I'm gonna be able to come back next week and make everything that I lost times 10 next week, right? I'm gonna absolutely destroy these markets next week, because I got to make up for, you know, what happened this week. But again, that's just me being 100% transparent with you guys, family. Again, I'm all about transparency. I love being transparent with you guys, you know, just to show you guys the real, the raw, and what really, you know, entails being a professional trader. All right, it's not always gonna be wins and loss. It's not always gonna be massive wins, at all. All right, but let's see what we got in the building today. We got KL. What's up, KL? How you doing? Jide, how are you doing? I can't leave these Broadway girls alone. Yeah, shout out to you. What's up? What's up? That's definitely my favorite song. At least it used to be. I need to go ahead and I need to bump that after this stream. I haven't listened to that song in a while. Right, but let's see who else we got here. Matthew, Elizabeth, Jamie, Joe. What's up? Eric, how you doing? Eric, big shout out to you. What's up? UJ setting up for some longs. Let's go take a look at UJ and see what we got here for USDJPY. I got you, Eric. All right, let's see. Just called a quick gold supply and demand scalp. Finished off strong. Let's go, Joe. I love it. Tony, my guy. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you in the chat, man. I appreciate you for tuning in with me this morning. Let's see. It's part of the game. Love the control of your state of mind through that process. Yeah, I mean, again, it really is a part of the game, guys. Like, this ain't my first time I've taken a, you know, I had a rough week. Like, this isn't my first time having a rough week. Right, it's happened numerous amount of times in the past, you know, so I'm able to adjust it a lot better, right? And the only reason why I'm even speaking on it as much now is more so just to make it as a case study for you guys, right? To let you guys know, like, listen, man, everybody goes through these weeks. You know, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Every single trader out there, no matter who they are, no matter what they decide to show on social media, you know, they have these type of weeks, right? You know, and you got to be mentally strong about it. That's just really what it comes down to, right? And again, it's completely different, guys, when you're already a profitable trader and you experience a crazy week, a crazy bad week, compared to somebody that's newer that only is experiencing bad weeks, right? Because they don't know any better just yet. You know, and I think that's even more tougher, right? When you actually do figure out a strategy and you do become profitable, right? When you do go through those weeks, those bad weeks, man, that's really what's going to test you mentally more than anything, right? But again, this ain't my first bad week, all right? It's not my first. It's not going to be my last. You know, so you got to be able to just rebound from it, all right? Grow from it at the end of the day. That's really all we can do as traders, family. Let's see, Abel, the real one. Much respect. My guy Tyson, what's going on, dog? Silver Surfer, my guy Reap. The Reap. What's going on, Brody? Good to see you in the chat. All right, we got that boy Devin in the building, Mr. Michigan himself. What's going on, my brother? Good morning to you as well. Let's get it. Thankfully, this has been a better week for my trading account. I love to see it, Lindsay. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Just got on the clock, but I'm clocked in with you. Let's go, bro. I appreciate you. Love you, dog. Appreciate you for jumping on. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at this USDJPY, guys, right? But before we even do that, let's take a look at what the hell the dollar has been doing overall, right? Because it's been a very interesting week in terms of what the dollar has done. Because it really hasn't done shit, all right? It really has not done much whatsoever, all right? I mean, this entire week, guys, we've been very, very choppy, very, very range-bound. All up until we just seen this last big move down that caused by news. You know, we did have interest rate decision come out, guys. You know, it's been a very, and this could be the reason why also why I had a more so up and down week. It's because it was a crazy news week this week, guys. Like, we had so much news, it's not even funny, and we're still not even done. All right, we still have, you know, NFP to come out in about an hour and a half, right? So it's been a crazy week for news. Now let's go over this really quickly, family, before we go ahead and take a look at the markets. Just because, again, I want to keep you guys up to par with what's happening from a fundamental standpoint, right? You guys know me. If you guys are newer to my sessions, newer to these streams, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you guys for jumping on. But I definitely am one of those traders, guys, that, focuses a lot on the fundamentals, right? On the sentimental side of trading. Because that's really what's dictating overall long-term flow in the market, right? Is the fundamentals and then the sentiment behind the fundamentals, right? The technicals is just what starts to form afterwards, right? So for me, how I pretty much approach these markets, guys, is I use the fundamentals and the sentimentals to give me an overall major macro outlook of the markets, like what I think is going to happen over the next few months. And then I use technical analysis to tell me what is going to happen today, tomorrow, right? So fundamentals, sentimentals for the macro outlook, or technicals is for the micro outlook. And the reason why that's there, guys, because technical analysis is what we need to know when it's time to jump in. All right, without technical analysis, it's going to be very hard to know exactly when it's time to pull that trigger. Okay, but that's pretty much how I approach the markets, right? News, sentiment is the macro overlook of it. And then I like my technical analysis, which is my micro, to align with what I believe the macro is going to be doing. And it's been a very interesting week, guys, right? And it's been very hard to even predict what the market is going to do based off the data that's been coming out, because a lot of this data, has been priced in for the most part, right? Priced into the markets. But let's just go through this really quickly, guys. I'm only going to talk about the most important ones that I see on the calendar. I'm not going to go over every single one. Just because it's going to take too much time, right? But the big boy that we really were paying attention to, guys, is definitely a lot of these CPI releases that were coming out. And not even that, but the interest rate decisions, right? We had a bunch of central banks, guys, a bunch of major central banks that actually released their interest rate decision, starting with the U.S. over there on Wednesday, right? So we did actually end up, raising interest rates by 0.25%, right? This is our first 25 basis point rate hike that we have seen so far for the Federal Reserve as a whole. Now, this, guys, could be bringing a lot of optimism in the markets. Why? Because when we're starting to see interest rates slow down, right? When we're starting to see the rate in increase, when we start to see, guys, by how much interest rates are going up now, and we're starting to see it go to the downside, that's a positive thing, right? That is a very optimistic thing. That is what's going to bring the bulls back into the markets, right? And when I'm talking about into the markets, I'm talking about more so towards equities, stocks, commodities, cryptos, right? A lot of these quote-unquote riskier plays, riskier assets. When we're starting to see data that's looking positive, that's a good thing, right? That could bring some optimism. And we're going to take a look at the markets as well, guys, and see what we could expect moving forward based off what we're seeing, right? But typically, this could be eventually leading into more so, a run on the markets as a whole. Now, keep in mind, though, guys, right? Even though we did start to lower by how much we're raising rates, we are still raising rates, right? We cannot ignore the fact that, yeah, we're starting to see, lower hikes, a smaller amount of hikes, but we're still hiking, right? The Fed is still technically hawkish, right? And as long as the Federal Reserve is hawkish, guys, we also need to understand how that's going to impact these markets. A hawkish Fed is going to lead to a stronger dollar, right? And it's going to lead usually to a weaker equities, right? A hawkish Fed, which means they are planning to continue to raise rates, is usually beneficial for the dollar as a whole, and is usually going to weaken the overall equity markets as a whole. But this is the caveat to that whole thing. Things can start to change when we start to get closer to the end of the hawkish cycle. Okay, which is exactly what we've been doing right now, right? We're getting closer, guys, to the end of this hawkish cycle, right? So again, for those guys that don't know, hawkish, when you hear somebody say that the central bank is hawkish, that just refers to what they are doing in terms of interest rates. When we have a hawkish Federal Reserve, that means that they are anticipating on continuously raising rates. When we have a dovish, right? Dovish is the opposite side of that. When we have a dovish Fed, that means that they are planning on lowering rates. Interest rates goes up, benefits the U.S. dollar to go up, right? But if the U.S. dollar is gaining strength, guys, then equities is going to go down, right? If the dollar is gaining strength, then stock market is losing value. Cryptos are losing value. Real estate is losing value. As interest rates goes up, the cost of money goes up, right? Interest rates, guys, is what dictates the cost of money. So as the cost of money increases and it's becoming a lot more expensive to actually access capital, that starts to dry up the demand for a lot of things that are not necessary. Okay? And when demand starts to dry up in terms of riskier plays, those lose value. And then the dollar gains value now because everybody's starting to liquidate, right? So it's important, guys, to understand, again, how the central banks and what their policies, their monetary policies, could do to these currencies as a whole. But remember what I said. We are getting near the end of the hawkish cycle. I would not be surprised, family, if we only seen maybe around 1 or 2 more interest rate hikes, right? Depending on when our next CPI data comes out and what that comes out as, I think that they're going to be pausing very, very soon. Right now, I don't think that they're going to start to decrease interest rates just yet, but they're going to be pausing very, very soon, right? Probably by the summertime. This would be my guess. By the summertime, guys, the Federal Reserve has completely stopped raising rates, and now they did a complete pause. Again, that's going to bring optimism in the markets, because what can come next after a pause is decreasing rates. Decreasing rates is going to promote spending. It's going to promote getting into riskier assets. When we start to decrease interest rates again, guys, you're going to start to see stock market flying. You're going to start to see the crypto market flying. The real estate market starting to fly again, right? You're going to start to see a lot of investors go right back into a lot of these riskier assets. Man, this is some gems, family. Is this making sense? Drop some threes in the chat, right? Drop some threes in the chat, because I promise you, when you really understand sentiment, man, it just makes it so much easier when it comes to identifying with the trade, right? 2022, guys, was probably my best trading year by far, and it was because I understood exactly what to expect the entire year. All right, I knew that the Fed was going to start raising rates, and I knew that they were going to continue to raise rates the entire year. So what did we do? We bought the dollar the entire year, right? We liquidated our cryptocurrency portfolios. All right, we started selling off stocks at the high. And it's because fundamentally it just made sense based off the current market conditions that we were experiencing. Right? So last year was a great year because we understood what the data was saying. We understood what the sentiment was saying for the whole year. So now, going into this year, this is what we're trying to figure out next. What is going to be happening next? Next is now we're going to continue to decrease by how much we're raising rates. Eventually, we're going to pause rates. And then eventually, we're going to become dovish. And they're going to start to cut rates. Now, how is that going to influence these markets, guys, right? That's going to make, again, the dollar, which we already been seeing, the dollar has been getting beat up over the past few weeks, past few months, is because now investors are already starting to position themselves. Right, you want to think ahead of the markets. You want to be ahead of the markets, guys. Right, so now we're seeing a lot of dollar weakness because the signs are on the wall. Right, we're getting to a point now where the Fed is eventually going to have to do a U-turn, and investors are trying to position themselves now. Why? Because we see how much of a decrease a lot of assets have gotten. Right, we've seen the stock market absolutely tank. We've seen real estate prices start to drop, right? Real estate prices dropped maybe around 15-20% in the past 6 months. We're starting to see cryptocurrencies absolutely tank, right? Where they probably tanked, depending on which one you're looking at, between 50 to 90% of their value they lost, right? So we're talking about assets, guys, are at the lowest points in a while, and investors are now being aware of the fact that the Fed is probably going to U-turn soon, so they're starting to get in now, right? Which is why we're starting to see this flip in market sentiment overall, right? Where we have seen the stock market start to gain some strength. We have seen Bitcoin start to increase. In fact, Bitcoin is up around 40-50%. Right? We're starting to see real estate market finally I'm not saying finally, right? But starting to stabilize in certain markets. It's because the tide is turning, right? And when we identify that the tide is starting to turn, we know exactly how to position ourselves. Oh man, family, this is some gems right here, guys. Family, go ahead and smash the like button one time for me, right? Go ahead and smash the like button one time for me, because this is massive right here. This is massive right here. All right, let's go ahead and get the likes to 100 streams. Let's get the likes to 100 streams. I'm over here drunk. Let's get the stream to 100 likes, family, ASAP, right? If you guys want some more value, if you guys truly want me to go ahead and really get in my bag, let's go ahead and get the stream to 100 likes ASAP, family, and I got y'all, right? We really go ahead and break this stuff down. right? Because I feel like this is the missing piece for a lot of traders, is a deeper understanding of fundamental and sentimental analysis, all right? Because technical analysis can only do so much, right? You understanding how to mark up a chart, doing your little trend lines, your support and resistance, supply and demand, even those of y'all that love your smart money, right? Identifying those imbalances and those equal highs, equal lows, and liquidity pockets. Like, I get it, but that's only gonna get you so far, right? You might as well start to, learn every aspect of trading. If I wanted to be a professional, guys, then I needed to learn every aspect that moves this market. There's a lot more that moves this market than just your liquidity pockets, right? Your order blocks. So again, if you want to be a professional trader, then you should want to learn as much as possible, right? Everything that you can to actually really, really make this thing go. All right. So again, a big shout out to every single one of y'all that is showing love as well, liking the stream. I appreciate y'all. Right. Let me go ahead and see what else we got here in the chat. Hello, Swaziland. What's up? What's up? We got Colombo, Sri Lanka. Someone's good week is someone else's bad week. That's a fact, Eric. We got Cape Town in the building as well. Let's go. Let's go. So a dovish market is always best. I mean, it's always good, especially if you want our economies to continue to grow, right? Then yeah, we need the cost of money to be at the lowest point possible, right? So when we have a dovish Fed, that means that they are lowering rates, right? Lowering rates means access to money is going to be a lot easier now. It's going to be a lot more affordable. All right, so so we do want to see a dovish Fed because that's going to promote spending. Dovish Fed is to promote spending. But again, I don't think we're going to see like a dovish Fed, guys, where they start to lower rates. Probably not till near the end of the year. Okay, I don't think they're going to start cutting rates until way later closer to the end of the year. All right, they want to make sure that they are still on the correct path in terms of inflation. Right, so again, that's the big boy that we had on Wednesday, family. We also did have a couple other ones as well. With the pound, the Bank of England also raising rates. They raised their interest rates by 50 basis points. The Eurozone, they also raised their interest rates by about 50 basis points as well. All right, so they obviously have a lot more to go in their inflation. Right, I think the Bank of England CPI, guys, is above 10%. Or is around 9-10%, and so is the Eurozone, right? So the Bank of England and the European Central Bank, they're still dealing, guys, with extremely high inflation, right? Like their inflation is still going up, their CPI is still increasing, right? While the Fed, we haven't had an increase in CPI in the past 6 months, right? Our inflation has been trending to the downside. So the Bank of England, guys, and the European Central Bank, they still have a lot way to go, right? They still have a lot that they have to do in terms of fighting inflation, which is why they're still a lot more aggressive, right? Which is why they're still raising it by 50 basis points while the Fed actually is only raising it by 25, because they're still getting wrecked, all right? They are still getting wrecked, guys. Now, again, this can also be a reason why we might want to be bullish the pound or the euro, right? And again, I'm going to get into this as well, because now as the Fed is starting to loosen up, right, the pound and the euro, or at least these central banks, they still have to tighten. Right? They can't loosen up just yet. They still have a long ways to go, which is probably going to bring some strength to those currencies. Right? If we see a central bank, guys, that has to be a lot more aggressive still, okay? Which means they're going to continue to raise rates. That could potentially continue to value their currency, right, to the upside and weaken their equities markets. Okay? So that's very interesting to see how this ends up playing out, though. But again, we did see 50 basis point rate hikes for the Bank of England, the European Central Bank as well, and yeah, just keep that in mind. That could potentially bring them strength. Okay, and then other than that, guys, like I said, we do have NFP in about just over 1 hour. All right, about an hour and 8 minutes. We do have non-farm payrolls as well that's going to release over here in the U.S., which is also going to bring a lot of volatility as well. All right, so we'll see how that plays out. I will be live with you guys as well to watch that in real time. So, yeah, but this is the news for the week, family. All right, this is the news for the week right here. It's been a very, very hectic week, very crazy week, very volatile week overall as a whole. Right, now let's go ahead and get straight into the markets, guys, and really start to break this stuff down now. Right, so looking at the dollar itself, guys, right, we are at a very interesting level here for the dollar. Because overall, what has the flow been? I mean, like I mentioned, this thing has been extremely bullish over the past 2 years, right? Due to COVID, due to stimulus, due to inflation going rampant, right? It's like this thing just went absolutely crazy. It's just that this past October, November, we finally seen the market start to cool off. Now, I've been waiting, guys. I've been looking for this thing to eventually go back bullish for some time, right? Because like I said, even though the Fed is starting to decrease by how much they're raising rates, they're still technically raising rates. So we could still see some type of short-term strength in this market. All right, so now when I'm looking here, guys, on the dollar index, I'm looking at what has happened in terms of price. Have we reached any major levels of support and resistance or supply and demand, and have we reacted off of it in a manner that could predict something else? Okay, so I'm looking at this level right here, guys, at this 101.4, 101.3 level on the dollar index, and I'm asking myself, okay, what has just happened, right? Because we had this extreme low right here of the market, which was an area, guys, that actually made the market go back bullish, right? So we do have an area of demand down here at these levels. The market ends up running this demand, right, spiking below it pretty aggressively too. But then we immediately just came back up and, came back inside of the range. So what can we potentially see here for the dollar itself? This closure back inside of the range itself, guys, is really not, it's not too convincing whatsoever. If I was to lean towards something for the dollar itself, guys, I would probably lean towards, at the very least, more so a continuation back down to retest, maybe this demand zone right here. That's probably what I will be leaning towards. Probably just more so continuations lower. Just because, again, that's what we've been experiencing, right? And I get it. We just had a nice rebound back up, but, that's not strong enough in my opinion. Let me see. That's not strong enough in my opinion, guys, for us to truly want to just start buying from where we're currently at. Now, again, granted, the market's going to do what it wants to do, right? If this thing truly does want to just start buying from there, it is very possible, right? In fact, if NFP comes out, crazy today, it could do that, right? Like right now, guys, our last NFP reading, we had 223,000 new jobs that were, taken. Right now, they're expecting a drop in NFP. They're expecting an increase in unemployment. All right, so let's just break how this will look, right? If we do actually go ahead and see an increase in unemployment, is unemployment, guys, a good thing or a bad thing? Answer this in the chat. Is unemployment a good thing or a bad thing? Answer this in the chat. All right, is unemployment a good thing or a bad thing? If unemployment going up, a good thing or a bad thing, right? And I appreciate you guys for liking the stream, family. Let's go ahead and continue to get these hundreds. Let's get this 100 likes, family. Go ahead and get this 100 likes up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Appreciate y'all, though. I love y'all so much, man. Right? Is NFP a good thing, or the unemployment rate going up a good thing or a bad thing, right? That's the question that I asked. And it's very interesting to even talk about this, right? Because it truly depends on the current market conditions, right? Unemployment rate, guys, last year, we wanted to see that. Okay? And again, that's why it's so important to also understand current market conditions, right? Because last year, while inflation was above 9-10%, or actually it never reached 10% over here, right? But while inflation, guys, is above 7-8%, 9%, we wanted our unemployment rate to increase. We wanted it to go up. Why? Because we had to try to slow down inflation, right? We need people to stop spending money. So the less people that are employed, the less spending that will occur. So yeah, last year, because of current market conditions, we wanted to see the unemployment increase, which it just never really did, right? Unemployment stayed extremely low, and in fact, it's still very low, even at 3.5%. But now, current market conditions, where inflation has already been trending lower, there's a lot of hope in the horizon, right? A lot of investors are now realizing that there's a lot of hope in the horizon. Unemployment increasing can now be a bad thing, because now we're coming back into more normal market conditions. Last year was not normal at all, right? Last year, the past 2 years, guys, was not normal market conditions whatsoever, right? Those were inflated market conditions, right? Completely different ballgame, right? That was a hawkish environment that we were dealing with, where now things are starting to turn. So now unemployment increasing is a bad thing, right? And anytime we do have normal market conditions, it is a bad thing. Okay, so I hope you guys are understanding this, family, right? Because again, it definitely like current state of the markets, current policies that these central banks are implementing, is all going to really play into, what these actual news events, guys, are going to do. All right, and the importance of them. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. 3.6%. If we do actually come out a little bit higher, that could bring some, some weakness, across the board. Right, that could bring some weakness across the board for equities, or and some possible strength for the dollar. Right, but we'll see. It really just depends on how, smart money is interpreting this type of release. All right, but that's going to be interesting to see what we got going on, guys. But overall, for me personally, all right, I will not be surprised if we do end up just continuing. All right, we don't have no evidence right now, guys, that this thing is getting ready to reverse just yet. Right, the only thing that you can probably try to make an argument about is the fact that we ended up just coming back above this zone right here. All right, that we ended up sweeping these lows, we grabbed some potential liquidity, right, and then we ended up coming back above the range. That's like the only thing that stands out right now, right, that says, oh man, maybe this can go bullish. And it is a possibility, right? The market gonna do what it wants. But more times than not, that's gonna be a super risky play if you try to take advantage of that. And even if you did think that that was true, that you think that this rebound back up is gonna be leading to a continuation upside, again, it is possible. I would still have no interest in trying to buy from where we're currently at. Right? I would not be looking to buy the dollar where we're currently at. Why? Because it's too obvious, right? There's going to be a lot of traders looking at this level right here of structure and be like, oh, man, look at this support. Man, price can act as support, and all that's going to be doing is doing what? Building up liquidity, right? All that's going to be doing is building up liquidity at this level. So that's why I'm not interested if I was looking for buys, which, again, I'm really not looking for buys on the dollar right now. But if I was, it wouldn't be there, all right? I think this is the trap. Right, this is what's going to trap most traders. Right, I would want to do it down here near these lows. Right, I would want to be, if I was, again, keyword here is if I was. Yeah, I would be looking more so down here at these lows, if anything, to see how we react. Right, to see how we react down here around this 101.1 level. That's going to really dictate exactly what I do moving forward based off the dollar itself. But overall, I'm still sticking downside. Right, I'm still sticking bear side, guys. All right, look at the direction of this market. Look at the flow. All right, we want to stick with the trend until the very end. All right, stick with the trend until the very end. Now, if we do see something like this, and we break structure, see, then now we start getting a little bit more evidence. All right, now we start getting a little bit more evidence. But until then, I want to just stick with what we've been doing. Right, stick with the order flow of the market. Order flow has definitely been to the downside, and it's been this way since November. All right, since November we've been trending lower. All right, so that's just my opinion on the dollar, guys. I personally think that we're probably going to continue to see more downside for sure. Now let's go take a look at a few different players. I know my guy Eric had mentioned USD/JPY. Well, let's go take a look at USD/JPY now with what I just mentioned in mind. All right, so the first thing that I do, guys, and I do have a very simple process that I want to introduce to you guys today. But I want you guys to go ahead and smash the like button before I do this. I'm going to give you guys my very simple 4-step process. Right, if you guys want my 4-step process to actually finding any type of setup, then let's get these likes to 100 real quick. All right, let's get these likes to 100 real quick. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, by the way. Shout out to all of our newest subscribers as well. You guys are absolute beast. I appreciate y'all. All right, but let's get 200 likes, family, and I'll go ahead and introduce y'all to, yeah, buddy, right, my 4-step process. My 4-step process. All right, let's see. Good thing for inflation, yeah. It's still a good thing in Powell's eyes. We still haven't seen the pain he keeps talking about. Yeah, that's very true, Freedom. All right, very true. Let's see. NAS hit 12,875 quarter point and dropped. Test 1 is sweep higher after hour. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at NAS as well. I got y'all. Let's see. What do you see for gold? Abel, I took a nice buy early in the week at 1906 and got a bag, and it fell hard back to 1909. Yeah, I'll take a look at gold after USD/JPY for sure. I got y'all. I got y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and break this stuff down, guys. So the first thing that I always do anytime I come to a chart, right, no matter what chart it is I always try to identify what the flow of the market is. All right, what is the overall order flow of this market? right? So overall, guys, UJ did have a very euphoric run last year or past 2 years overall. And that's just on the back of obviously dollar strength and massive yen weakness. This thing went absolutely bonkers. But, ever since November, October, this thing has been going lower, right? We have just genuinely been creating, guys, these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. All right, that's literally all we've been doing here, right? And I think that that is going to continue until further notice, right? So for me, for USD JPY, I would love to see UJ guys come and take out these lows at 126, right? 126.5. I would love to see UJ go ahead and continue lower to take out these lows right here. All right, I think that this low right here, guys, has a ton of liquidity built up below it. And if we are going to go any type of bullish, then I would want to see us run these lows and then immediately rebound, and then we can go ahead and start looking for some bullish reactions back to the upside. But for right now, based off what I'm currently looking, based off order flow of this market, based on how we're looking here even on a daily time frame, yeah, I will be looking for more continuations to the downside. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame, see what we got here. We also do got these lows that I think is going to be lows that we end up taking out. All right, let's start identifying our next levels, right? So again, after I identify my order flow of the market, guys, the next thing that I want to do is identify my supply and demand zones, right? My major areas of supply and demand. Major areas of supply and demand. All right, so we have this level right here, this level right here, okay? We have our major area of supply all the way at the highs, and then we have our possible demand right here at the lows. Okay, supply at the highs, demand at the lows. Supply at the highs, demand at the lows, right? So now we have our trading range, right? That is pretty much helping us identify what is price doing inside of our range, okay? So now the next thing that I do, guys, once I identify the overall order flow, once I identify my supply and demand levels, my exterior, my major areas of supply and demand, right? The next thing I like to do is I like to identify various liquidity pockets or areas of liquidity, guys, inside of this specific zone, okay? Inside of our range right here, right? Again, from swing high to swing low, okay? So where can we identify our liquidity pockets? Well, to be honest with y'all, like, I see a major pocket of liquidity up here. I see one right before our supply zone. Right, I see one right before our supply zone. Now, why or how do I see it? Well, it's because I'm looking at, what actually caused this move, right? This massive drop right here, right? I'm also looking for things like imbalances, order blocks, right? I'm using different tools and techniques, guys, to help me identify where I can expect price to go, okay? And I'm looking at this massive move, and I see that we have some imbalance up here above these highs. Right now, again, an imbalance doesn't necessarily always mean that price is going to get up there. But more times than not, that could be an area that is using liquidity to go ahead and build something up. Now, another thing that I'm also seeing, guys, is trendline liquidity. All right, so now we have resistance liquidity, but we also have trendline liquidity as well that's been building up. Okay, resistance liquidity, trendline liquidity. Okay, resistance liquidity, trendline liquidity, guys. There's different areas of liquidity that you guys can identify, right? I think there's 3 of them that I personally use the most, all right? But we're going to talk about these 2, all right? We have this regular structure liquidity, resistance or support liquidity, and then we also have trendline liquidity. So we do have various areas, guys, that is building up potential liquidity. So we should potentially expect the market to want to go ahead and target those possibly before we continue, all right? That's a potential. That is a potential. I'm not sure if this is truly going to happen just yet, simply because of how we're looking at price action right now. We did see this market, guys, give us a nice strong push to the downside that did break, levels of structure right here. So maybe we might not see the market go and target that just yet. But even if it does, at least we'll be prepared. Right now, again, keep in mind, NFP is going down in less than an hour. All right. So if NFP comes out, family, and this thing spikes up for whatever reason, all right, I am going to be looking for opportunities to short that. Okay. If NFP spikes up, right, if we do see a lot of dollar strength off the initial release and we start to grab some trendline liquidity, and if we're able to even make it up here, I'm not sure if we're going to make it all the way up to this 132. That's actually kind of high. But if we grab enough trendline liquidity, then guess what? We could actually get an opportunity to go ahead and go back lower. All right, so that's what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, right? So again, it's a very simple process, guys, right? Step number one, identify order flow. It's down. Current order flow is bearish. Identify our supply and demands, our exterior, our major areas of supply and demand. That's right here. Right? We have our entire range. Supply at the highs, demand at the lows. Right? There are going to be interior areas of supply and demand as well, and I'm going to get into that. All right. But the next thing that I talked about was identify areas of liquidity. We have liquidity up here, which will be honestly, that would be a phenomenal entry if price was to get up there. Like if price was to get up here, I don't know, that would be pretty interesting. All right, that would be pretty interesting. Now again, this high right here isn't necessarily the strongest high, but we still could get a reaction off of these levels for sure. If price was to get up there, again, I'm not sure if price is gonna get up there. I'm not a damn fortune teller, right? So I'm not sure if price is gonna get up there. But it's just something to keep in mind if price was to get up there. For right now, though, what I think could happen is that we also do have some internal areas of supply and demand that we can also pay attention to. All right. So what I would like to see, guys, is how the market reacts off of these highs as well. All right. Again, now we're on smaller time frame, 1 hour time frame. Right. Again, we do have all this trend line liquidity that's being built up. But there is a chance, guys, for even the market just to come up and react off of this level as well. I mean, it is what it is, right? The market gonna have different areas that it might want to play, make a play off of. So if the market also spiked up above this wick, right, this can also be an opportunity to go ahead and start shorting USD JPY. And in fact, again, although we do have a ton of liquidity above the trend line, above all these other levels, price doesn't have to necessarily just go after that just yet. All right. But what I am doing is I'm giving you guys different ideas, different opportunities, different areas to keep your eyes on in case the market does come up to these levels. You'll be able to go ahead and react. All right. So something like this could be very possible for you, Jay. All right. Something like this. It's not a bad looking setup. Right. Risking around 1 to 2%. It's not bad. I mean, look at the risk to reward, right? We're talking about a 7 to 1 risk to reward, right? A 7 to 1 risk to reward. That's an absolute banger, right? So I'm definitely comfortable taking this type of opportunity, but I also will be comfortable taking even the higher level as well if the market decided to go ahead and reach that high. Okay, so if it decides to go ahead and say nope, we're just gonna start grabbing all this liquidity first before we make this big move lower, and they stop us out right here, then I'll probably be taking my next jab up here for sure. Even that's still a good 6.5 to 1 risk to reward. All right, so this is what I'll be looking for you, Jay. Overall, I think it's very possible for either or of these levels to play out. So I'll be reacting off of either doors depending on obviously what happens. So yeah, overall goes not bad, right? And step number 4 is very simple, just to find your entry using your favorite patterns. All right, that's step number 4. Step number 1, guys, identify the flow, the order flow, the trend. Identify. Step number 2 is to identify our supply and demand zones. Step number 3 is to identify our areas of liquidity. And then step number 4 is to go ahead and find those entries and pull the trigger. Okay, now I'm not going to get too deep into entries right now until we're actually able to find an active trade that we can jump in. But those entries, just pretty much come down to your favorite pattern that you like to look for entries, and then your favorite candlestick pattern, which what you're looking for to actually pull the trigger. All right. So overall, yeah, it's not bad though. All right, let me see what you guys talk about in the chat. Again, shout out to every single one of y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me this morning. Family, let's go ahead and smash the like button, please, one time. Again, I don't charge for any of these live streams because I actually do enjoy doing them. But the one thing that I do recommend and I do encourage you guys to do is go ahead and smash the like button one time for your boy. All right, if you guys have gotten some type of value today, definitely show me some love by smashing the like button. It's free to smash it. Right, it is free to smash it, so I appreciate y'all for doing that. It definitely helps me out tremendously as well, family, more than what you guys might even be aware of. All right, so UJ, overall, that's the overall blueprint that I would like to see for USD JPY. Let's go lower time frame now, right? Is there anything here on USD JPY telling us something? All right, is there anything telling us right now that we can get involved into anything? Not really. I don't really see nothing right now that would want me to go ahead and pull the trigger right now at current prices. Alright, so yeah, if anything, I'll either need just a little bit more data before we actually start looking at anything else. Yeah, there's nothing that I'm interested down here, guys. nothing that I'm interested down here, unless if this 1 hour ends up closing as an engulfing, then maybe we might be able to have something. If this 1 hour ends up closing as an engulfing, we might be able to, because now we're getting to one of my favorite patterns. Let me just put an alert here to see. Let me just see what we got. Yeah, so I'm going to keep my eyes on this overall, see what the market is giving us, guys, overall for UJ, right? So let's go take a look at gold really quickly. All right, so gold. Man, gold is looking good. Gold looks prime to go to the upside. I'm not even going to lie, family. Right, gold looks prime to continue to go bullish, in my opinion, of course. Let's go ahead and look at this from a bigger perspective. All right, so what is the order flow of this market? I mean, we have been very, very bullish for gold. Recently, though, we did see the market finally start to slow down at these highs. And that's just pretty much because of where we came into, right? You know, we actually came into a very interesting level of supply and demand, all right? Supply for this instant. And the market itself, guys, is looking, yeah, very, very interesting to say the least. Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. Let me take this call real quick. All right, family, let's get back to it. All right, so again, I mean, gold itself, guys, right? We got a massive reaction off of this level of supply right here. Very strong reaction, especially after we swipe the highs. So long term, I do believe we're probably going to continue bearish here long term. I would love to see eventually gold to go ahead and take out this 1900s level. I would eventually love to see that, right? But before we even get to that point, we're probably going to see the market go ahead and push back up, right? We're probably going to see this thing start to correct back to the upside. You know, so that's more so what I'm leaning towards, right? So I do expect long term for us to come and take out 1900s, but I think there is a chance for this market to push up before we actually experience any of that. All right, so that's just a quick rundown on what I'm looking for. Let's start going lower time frames, guys. Matter of fact, let's start just identifying our major areas that we can expect price to go ahead and play from, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and let's go ahead and see, right? So this area right here is very interesting. All right, and the reason why this is an interesting area is very simple, guys. I'm not overcomplicating nothing whatsoever. I'm just looking at very obvious levels of structure. All right, obvious levels of structure. So if price is gonna push back up, I would love to see if we could push back up into there. That would be ideal. All right, that would be absolutely phenomenal if we're able to go ahead and get price back around 1937s, 1938s, and then look for a nice reaction off of there. That would be pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie, that would be pretty lit. But the market has a mind of its own, and it doesn't have to do that. Why? Because we did just come and break through this entire demand zone. All right, so although I would love for price to make its way up here, 1938s, it's probably gonna have a tough time trying to break through this level right here at 1922. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my eyes on both of those levels, but I am, as of right now, expecting bullishness to come in and tap into one of these levels before we go ahead and continue lower. All right, so let's see what we got here now, guys. Overall, smaller time frame. All right, because I think I want to be able to get involved into this. I want to get you guys into some. So let me see real quick, because gold is definitely one of my favorites. Let's see what we did. Let's see what we did. So we recently just seen the market down here break this support. Oops. Market ends up running this support and then immediately flying back to the upside. Now again, we really need to see a break of this level before we really get too excited. I don't know, guys. I would be interested in buying gold. I would be interested in buying gold below this level right here. Right? If, again, we are in the 5-minute, and it could happen. Right? If we see price come back below this 1911, that might give us an opportunity to get up into this little, 1922 level. It might. All right, now again, keep in mind we do have news. All right, we do have news coming out in literally less than an hour, so this could happen very quickly. Right, it can either spike up right away off the news, and then we might be able to look for an opportunity to go short off of the news. Right, or news might send it a little bit lower first, maybe capture some of this liquidity before we go back up as well. All right, there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out here, right? So I'm just gonna be patient and see what the news does. But if the news spikes us up higher first, all right, and we're able to see price come into this demand zone or this supply zone all the way up at these highs, and we start to see rejections, I will probably be risking a solid 1% on an opportunity to go short. Okay, I will probably be risking a nice little 1%, maybe about, if we're able to clear these highs right here. If, again, keyword is if. All right, if we're able to come back up, maybe spike above this and come back inside of the range, I would be very tempted with continuing to short this. I will be very, very tempted with continuing to short this. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for gold. I think we're getting to a point now where this thing is bound for a correction. We did just see a massive whiplash over the past couple days in this thing, and yeah, I think we're due for some more continuations to the downside. All right, so that's how I'm gonna be positioning myself. Yeah, going into NFP, right? If we're able to spike up, amazing. I'll look to go ahead and sell this thing from up here. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see what else we got here. What do you think? Gold. What's the indicator you're using at the bottom of your chart, right? So this indicator is just the MACD, right? The MACD, 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 right? I have a question for you guys, and this is a little bit of a trick question. Who knows what MACD actually stands for? Who knows what MACD actually stands for? Does anybody know what MACD actually stands for? Might be a little bit of a trick question because I don't even know if that many of you guys use the MACD. All right, but the MACD is powerful, man. I love the MACD. It really helps me identify volume, momentum, helps me identify divergences, things like that. There we go. There we go, Lufate. Moving average convergence divergence, right? That is what the MACD stands for. And again, it's just a tool that I utilize to help me identify volume, momentum, divergence, all that good stuff all in one. Super powerful tool. Let's see, the McDonald's indicator. Yeah, exactly. All right, the McDonald's indicator. Yeah, let's call it that, right? Oh man, you guys are absolutely amazing, right? So yeah, that's what I'm looking for gold. As of right now, there's really nothing that I'm interested in. I know some of you guys are probably looking at some shorts just because of where we're currently at. Like, Abel, man, how about the shorts, bro? Can I sell it from here? I mean, that's just totally up to you. All right, you do as you please. It's very possible for the market to react off of here. We are starting to see the market slow down as well, becoming a lot more choppier in price as we get up into this supply zone up here. So it is very possible for the market to give an opportunity, at the very least, is down here. But even then, I'm not going to be pulling no triggers before news personally. I'm just going to be setting up my opportunity, seeing what the market gives us, and then I'll just be reacting to what price does after the fact. But yeah, it is setting up. For those of you guys that just can't control yourself, and want to hurry up and just get into something, this is looking very interesting here for sure here on the dollar as a whole. All right, like, I'm not a fan of where we're currently at, but hey, man, this thing could very well play out. And the risk to reward isn't that bad neither. Risk to reward might not be that bad neither. A little 2-to-1 if you're talking back down to the lows, a nice little 3-to-1, and that's just if you take it right here, right now. It stops above the high. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, that looks interesting. Interesting. Again, I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling. I'm chilling, personally speaking. I'm chilling. Let's see. NAS needs retrace is overbought. Let's go take a look at indices real quick, man. Because indices is what really saved me this week. All right. If it wasn't for me catching a US 30 trade that played out pretty well, I would have had even a much worse week than a much yeah, a much rougher week for sure, right? So shout out to US 30, absolutely saved my behind this week from having a crazier disappointing week. But yeah, so what do we see here? It said NAS. Let's go take a look at NAS really quickly. All right, so NAS overall, I mean, we have been very bearish since December, but if you really look at this thing, we've been on a massive tear here, guys, for indices for the past decade plus. All right, so we finally starting to see a little bit of a correction, but now what can we expect, right? Again, remember what I talked about with fundamentals. Right now, we're starting to see the writing on the wall. Right, we're starting to see a lot more optimism entering in the markets. All right, and we're seeing that, and we know that because of, look at this push right here. Right, this wouldn't have increased to the upside if there wasn't some type of optimism back into the markets. Now, overall, guys, technically speaking, this thing it's still in order flow to the downside. I get it. We had a lot of bullishness for this past month, right? But overall, we still didn't really break no major levels of structure, right? Well, let's go ahead and break this down real quick. Step number one, identify order flow. For me, order flow is still very much bearish. All right, we're seeing these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and we're still creating a new lower high. All right, so overall, order flow is still very much bearish for me. All right, now let's go ahead and identify our major areas of supply and demand. Right, well, we have obviously the supply all the way at the highs, and then we have the demand all the way at the lows. All right, so this is our trading range that price is currently trapped into. All right, again, this major area of supply at the highs, demand at the lows. Okay, our major range that we're trapped inside of. Now, at these lows, again, if order flow is still very much bearish, which is in my opinion it is, we have to identify our areas of liquidity. Right, that's the next thing. And we do have potential liquidity right below these lows. All right, when the market came down, guys, and created this last low right here, and we had a couple little retests back to that level, all this was doing was creating and building up liquidity. Right, creating and building up liquidity. That's all that's really doing. All right, we never actually came and sweep these lows or any type of liquidity grab before we started pushing up. That is very interesting to me. Right, because we know that this market, guys, is liquidity driven, right? It likes to move towards where there's a lot of liquidity in the market. So we have to keep in mind that there could be a lot of liquidity down here. Right, we have to just keep that in mind. Now, again, I'm not sure if we're going to right away go down there. I'm not sure if it's even going to happen, but it is something just to keep in mind. All right, now the next thing that we're going to identify as well is that we did have this little level right here that the market just tapped up inside of. We did just spike above this little area of structure, possible area of liquidity as well. Right, all of these little short-term lower highs, right, these little lower highs, all those are areas, guys, where potential liquidity could have been being built up, potentially. Right, so these are things that we have to keep in mind. Whoops. So what do I think can happen? Well, for right now, overall, we've experiencing a lot of strength. I want to see how we play off of these levels up here. All right, I'm very interested to see how we react. I think that we can at the very least make our way up into the 13,200 level, 13,300. I would really like to see how we react above here around 13,200, 13,300 for NAS. But as of right now, I do think that we're probably going to see a little bit more upside, right? Again, even though order flow is still technically bearish, I think we just have a lot of momentum right now to the upside. And I think there's still some levels of liquidity that we might want to go ahead and capture before we see anything major potentially to the downside. So I would definitely be leaning towards more continuations to the upside, guys, more than anything probably right now for NAS. So if you're looking at NAS, then it's just all about setting up the buy opportunities. Right, it could be something maybe like this. I'm going to do it on the bigger picture just so you guys can see it, but maybe it could be something like this. right? Target, you know, at least back up just to this 13,200 range, right? I think that there's a good chance that we do make our way at least up into those levels. So let's go lower time frame now, right? What we're seeing here, lower time frame, anything crazy? I mean, we are starting to see some momentum come back into the markets right now, right before 8 o'clock candle. But let's see how we actually play off of this. All right, we did have a nice little sweep right here of these lows. Let's see. I really would have been looking for price to come down below here, to be honest with you. But the market doesn't do that, right? We just started to accumulate. We spiked out to the downside, probably grabbed some liquidity, and now we're starting to, you know, make our way back bullish. So if there is a chance for the market to maybe come back down, maybe below this 12,580 level, you know, that can be giving us an opportunity to go ahead and get involved as well. You know, because as of right now, I mean, this thing looks like it might want to just start going bullish, you know, just based off the price action that I'm currently looking at right now. You know, so yeah, you know, looking for, again, I would really need to see a spike probably below this level right here to see if how we play off of there before anything. But even then, you know, there's nothing that we can do currently right now. Price is already moving, right? It's already making its move. So we'll have to wait for some type of a pullback to then maybe continue. Now, again, keep in mind, though, guys, right? A lot of things can change depending on NFP, depending on how the data comes out. But that's how I would be looking at it from more so this perspective, this time frame. If I was looking to get involved, yeah, it'll probably be maybe somewhere around here to then go ahead and target to the upside, right? It'll probably be something like this. Maybe something like this. Maybe. All right, maybe. But let's see. You know, we got about 30 minutes now for news to come out, so we'll see obviously how news ends up playing, but you know, that's how I will be looking to get involved. You know, maybe something like that. All right, let's see let's see what else we got here. Yep. All right, so what other pairs you guys looking at, family? Go ahead and smash the like button as well one time for me. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you guys for getting me almost to 100. We're literally 10 likes away, family. 10 likes away, 10 likes away from smashing 100 likes. I appreciate y'all for, you know, showing love and supporting me. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, let's see if we can get to 100. Let's get to 100. That'll be pretty dope. Let's see, when is your next boot camp? That's a great freaking question. I don't know. All right, I think the next boot camp that I do host is probably going to be more so a cryptocurrency boot camp, because now the cryptocurrency markets are setting up in a way to where we want to start to pay attention to them. All right, we want to start to focus on them. We want to start to accumulate cryptos. Right, so I think now is, or at least this year, is definitely the best time to really start educating you guys on the crypto space and what's really happening in terms of the cycles. So I think that's going to be probably my next boot camp, right? It's definitely going to be probably a cryptocurrency boot camp, just educating everybody on what it does. Because I know for me, guys, like I'm purchasing crypto every single week. Like every single week, I'm buying again. All right, I'm buying again, right? I'm buying again. Let me show you guys why, right? Very simple stock to flow model. Very simple stock to flow. Right, this model right here, guys, pretty much helps us predict what the hell is happening for crypto. And just look at this. Right, this is a big reason why I'm extremely bullish on crypto again. All right, so for those of you guys that don't know what this is, family, this is a stock to flow model. It's pretty much just a Bitcoin model that pretty much helps us predict price action, or not price action, but helps us to predict the price of Bitcoin, guys, based on the halving cycle that it runs off of, right? Because Bitcoin, family, runs off of a 4-year halving cycle, where every 4 years or so, you know, we go through something called the halvening, which pretty much cuts the reward that miners get in half. All right, so like the reward that miners are getting from mining Bitcoin is cut in half around every 4 years or so. And this model right here tells us predict, guys, when the low of the market is and when it's time to start buying. Well, let's look at this real quick. Look at this. All right. Back in 2012, which is when, I mean, Bitcoin really came to existence in 2009, 2010. But back in 2012, guys, we had a massive run. And then we had a little bit of a pullback, right? This was the bear market of 2012. When did the bear market stop? Inside of the blues, right? Inside of the dark blues. And then we had our next massive run after the halving which happened back in 2013. Right, we had our halving, and then this thing shot up. Okay, fast forward to 2014, 2015, we had our next bear market. We got into the blue, which the blue is around 400 or 500 days away from the next halving. The halving occurs, and this thing starts flying again. All right, Bitcoin absolutely starts flying right after the halving. Right, fast forward to 2020, the most recent one. Again, we had our blue right here. Price bottomed out in the blue, right around 400 or 500 days from the halving. Price bottoms out, the halving happens, and then it starts to absolutely moonshot. So guess what? We're at the blue right now, right? So we're already in that color that historically Bitcoin likes to bottom out, right? We're at that blue. So all we have to do now is be patient, accumulate, keep on buying all the way up until the halving. And then once the halving happens, that should send us into the 100K range for Bitcoin. Okay, so again, I'm personally super excited for this. I'm personally going to be taking full advantage of it. And I know where we're currently at in the cycle. Right now is definitely the best time to start to accumulate. There is maybe potential for possible pushback down towards the lows at around 17,000, 18,000. But even then, I don't care if it's 20K. I don't care if it's 16K. Right? I'm buying. Because when Bitcoin reaches 100,000, you think I'm going to worry about if I got in at 20K or 16K when Bitcoin's at 100K? I'm not going to care about that at all. All right? So I just want to make sure that I'm involved. If anything, we'll just DCA. We'll just dollar cost average. Continue to dollar cost average our positions no matter what's happening. Right? So if this thing does drop a little bit lower than I'm expecting, I'll just buy some more. Buy some more. All right? Because our low is either in or our low is about to be in. All right? Let me go ahead and move. There we go. I just realized y'all couldn't even see the like. I realized y'all couldn't even see the message, man. And y'all got me to 100 likes, family. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you guys for that. Thank you guys so much for that. But again, let me go over this one more time, right? If we look at this model right here, it tells us exactly how the market reacts before the halving and how it reacts after the halving. All right? When we're around 400 or 500 days away, right? When we're actually anywhere between 300 to 500 days away from the halving, that's usually when Bitcoin finds its low. All right? When the bear market has bottomed out. And it has happened for every single halving that we have experienced so far. So if we look at currently what price is doing, we're in that blue. We're in that blue. I mean, look at the blue is when we find that bottom. We're in that blue. So I'm buying all day long as we are in this blue. And then we should expect, once the halving does come, we should expect this thing to continue. Now, guys, the halving itself isn't predicted until maybe around April of 2024. April of 2024, right? That is when it's predicted for the next halving to occur. So from now all the way up into 2024 is your time to start accumulating and start holding for the long term. And if you do that, by the end of 2024, going into 2025, you should be sitting on a big freaking bag, right? Like, you should be sitting on a lot of money if you're listening to me and if you're actually going to follow what I'm saying. Buying now, holding the whole year into next year, you will be extremely, extremely thankful that you did. Extremely, extremely thankful that you did, right? So again, in terms of boot camps, I'm probably going to be hosting another boot camp soon, but I think it's definitely going to be more so leaning towards the cryptocurrency boot camp. All right, the crypto boot camp is definitely something I want to get you guys educated on. Just because I know it's definitely something that right now is the best time to really understand where we're at, because everybody's fearful. Everybody's scared to jump into Bitcoin. Everybody's yelling, oh, that it's just a bull trap or a bear trap. Everybody's saying, Abel, don't get too excited, bro. Bitcoin is eventually going to come back down, blah, 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 right? Everybody's saying it, right? But I literally said, guys, last year, I said that Bitcoin itself could be bottoming out soon, because I'm using the data to make that decision. Ever since then, ever since we found this low in November, December, I mean, Bitcoin has increased 50%. Right? Bitcoin has increased 50%. So I believe that this is the low of the market. I believe that this is the low of this current bear market that we have seen, this bear cycle that we've seen for crypto, at least for Bitcoin, right? So that's why I'm buying, right? Even if we do see price push back down, I'm still going to be anticipating the market to continue. And even if something random happens and we continue to drop lower and we're getting into 14,000 range, I'm only going to get even more excited because that's still giving me even better opportunity to jump in. So more of the story, family, right? It's time to start buying in crypto. It's time to invest. It's time to start looking into cryptocurrencies a lot more. It's starting to get educated on it a lot more. All right. So this boot camp is going to be next level, family, right? So if you guys want to be a part of this boot camp, this cryptocurrency boot camp, it's going to be myself. The boy Skaggs is also going to be hosting it with me. If you guys are interested in something like that, family, then let me know in the chat. If we have a lot of interest, we could probably get this thing up and running probably within the next few weeks. We can actually start to create the curriculum, create the PowerPoints, create this, create the whole thing for you guys, right? Because it's going to be probably like a 3-day boot camp, maybe even a 5-day boot camp, because there's just so much that we got to talk about, right? So if you guys are in, let me know in the chat. Right, if you guys want to make 2024, 2025 the best year of your life because you guys have gotten educated on cryptos and you guys are sitting on a big bag, then yeah, all right, go ahead and let me know in the chat. All right, let me know in the chat that this is what you want, and me and the boy Skaggs will start working on, the outline, the curriculum. We'll start getting everything situated so we can go ahead and do what we do. All right, let's see. Yes, because you will become the yep, me, I'm in, I'm down, interested, put me in the list. Let's go, Lucas, I love it. Let's go, Lourdes. I don't own Bitcoin, but XRP, XLM, XDC is my go-to. Yeah, you can't go wrong with those. My favorite ones that I'm investing into right now is obviously Bitcoin. I'm buying Bitcoin every day, but I'm also buying Ethereum, and I'm buying a lot of Polkadot. All right, so those are, I would say, are my 3 biggest, the ones that I'm just buying right now a lot of. But the ones that are in the back end that I'm also focused on are going to be Solana, Chainlink. We have even Matic is also going to be very good again. I'm also going to start to buy a lot more Matic. There's a few, all right? There's a few that I'm investing into, guys. But majority of the ones that I'm definitely going all in right now are definitely a lot of the layer one, the layer 1 projects, the layer 1 blockchains that I'm investing into right now. So yeah. It's right off, by the way, guys. Yeah, Lucas, that's a gem. All right, anytime you guys do invest into any type of education, any type of course, boot camp, anything to do with investing into yourself, it is technically a write-off if you do it the right way. All right, so that's a great grab. All right, let's go back to see what we got here. Can you check gold? Yeah, for sure. Right, I'll check gold real quick. So this is what I was looking at for gold, and gold is looking to see. Look at this thing go already, right? So I'm interested to see how we play off of gold after the news. Like right now, guys, I really have no interest at all. We do have news in less than 20 minutes, right, with NFP. So I want to see how that plays off. But I did mention that we could see a little bit of a reaction off of this supply zone, and we are seeing that little bit of a reaction. So that's interesting to see. I think at this point, we're probably going to, at the very least, continue lower on gold. Again, I'm not in no positions at all right now. All right, I'm going to wait till after news. But I think at the very least, gold can possibly go ahead and push below this level of structure right here. Right, below this 1911 level. So for those of you guys that are in gold or, might have looked at this idea and thought it was good, juicy, whatever the case, that's where I would be looking to go ahead and ride this thing down to around 1911 if I was looking to play gold. Let's see, Algo. Yeah, Algo's also a good one as well. Algorand's a good one. Avalanche is also, I think Avalanche is going to be a very, very good one, personally speaking. Extremely slept on project. Honestly, I really don't even have no type of Avalanche at all, right? But I've been hearing a lot of great things. I've been hearing that they have a lot of great partnerships coming up. So Avalanche is definitely one of those that I'm also going to start to invest a lot into for sure. For sure. All right, don't sleep on that Avalanche. They have a lot of amazing partnerships on the horizon. Let's see, GJ. Let's go take a look at GJ real quick. All right, so GJ, man, GJ has been breaking my heart, man. I've been getting smacked around a little bit by GJ because I've been expecting to break out of this range already, and we have not broken out of this range. We've been in this range since December. All right, so for the past month and a half to 2 months, we've been just trapped inside of this level. All right, now the reason why I took some losses this week, guys, because I really wanted to see, you know, GJ bounce off of these levels to go ahead and correct a little bit higher. You know, we have, again, this range right here, guys, is just creating a ton of liquidity, right? This entire range is just building up a ton of liquidity on both sides. And I wanted to see this market go ahead and run outside of this liquidity, right? Grab some liquidity before we maybe continue back lower. But the market just been stuck inside this range. It really hasn't been giving me what I've been looking for, and trust me, I've been taking some L's this week because of it. But what can we expect next for GJ? Well, I don't know. For me personally, like, I'm still on the bull side, right? I'm still leaning towards bullishness, me personally speaking. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down real quick. Overall flow, order flow currently has been bullish. All right, I mean, recently we did see this massive sell-off, right? But that had to do with more so the Bank of Japan just constantly trying to intervene and trying to prop up their currency, right? But the reason why I'm still bullish GJ is because they're really not doing nothing, right? They're trying to create, and I'm really talking about the Bank of Japan, right? The Bank of Japan is trying to add these little band-aids, thinking that's going to be a permanent solution, and it's not going to be a permanent solution. All right, so I think overall the Bank of Japan is still not in a position to where their currency could gain massive strength. So I think yen weakness is something that could be continued on the horizon. So I'm more so just looking for continuations for sure. I would love to see this thing eventually go ahead and go to the upside. But now, in order for me to really look for something like that, I would need to see these lows be taken out first. Right, I would need to see these lows get absolutely taken out first. That's what I would be looking for now for GJ, right? So I would be looking for more continuation to the downside overall. I think that these lows are super attractive. I think that there's a lot of liquidity below there. So I think we're probably going to eventually continue before we see any type of major move to the upside. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean we just want to go ahead and sell from right here? I wouldn't be selling. I wouldn't be buying neither from these levels. All right, I wouldn't be selling or buying from these levels. There's nothing crazy that stands out to me, right? Like this pause in the market, guys, like it's low key kind of random. Like the only thing I see is maybe this level of structure, but this is nothing of significance whatsoever, right? Those are not strong areas of structure, right, that I would feel comfortable looking to actually go ahead and take trades off of. So I have no interest right here where we're currently at. What I would be interested in is maybe if we seen price push up. I don't care about the buy, all right, but I would love to see how we actually play off of this level, right, above this 156 level, right? Maybe if we see the market get up in there, then we could start to look for some shorts to go ahead and target down lower. Or the market just might want to continue where we're currently at, all right? It doesn't need to go ahead and give us a pullback. This thing could also just continue to drop from where we're at. But overall, I think that we're definitely going to eventually be leading towards more downside for sure. Okay? So it's a little bit tough, all right? It's definitely a little bit tough. I mean, I've been getting smacked around by GJ, like for real. I got destroyed by GJ this week. Let's see, that boy Abel trying to fight these sellers. Yeah, I was definitely trying to go against it for sure. And man, they've been whooping my ass. They definitely been whooping my ass this week for sure. All right, but it's cool, you know. Trust me, get back is gonna be real. All right, when it's time for me to get back to, you know, get back what I've been losing on GJ. GJ gonna wish that it never messed with me. Right, that's really what it comes down to. Like GJ gonna wish it never ever even thought about messing with me, right? So that's just, you know, that's my thought process on GJ, guys. But overall, let's see what we got here. If I was interested in GJ again, it's either gonna have to be all the way back above these highs around 159.5 to look for the short, or let's see what we do here. Or I would also love if we did something like this, right, where we did spike above this high right here, and then we came back inside the range. I would be selling that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I would be tempted to sell that. I would be tempted. Yeah. All right, so that's something to keep your eyes on. All right, maybe if we can break out. Right, we are starting to form this little bit of a rising, or more so like a little bullish flag type of pattern. Yeah, that's what I would be leaning towards. I think we're actually probably. I think there's a good chance that we do spike above here before we go ahead and go lower. Yeah. So let's see. Please take a look at EU. I got you, right? I'm gonna get mine. Yeah, Jose. Right, that's the mindset you gotta have, man. Like, again, this is a war here, all right? Like, this is a war, family, right? When you guys are trading, it's you versus the chart, but it's a war, all right? A war entails a lot of different battles inside of that war. Okay, so let me show you guys for example real quick. Let me see. Right, so for an example, right, let's say that this entire circle right here, and this is me just freestyling off the top of my head, right? But this entire circle is the war itself, right? The war of 2023. Let's just say it's the war of 2023 is the big circle. Inside of the war of 2023, there's going to be a ton of little battles inside of the war of 2023. Right? So all these smaller things are going to be the battles that we're going to have to go through. Right? It's going to be the battles that we have to go through. Right? The major thing is the overall bigger war. Right? The war is the bigger circle. All right? On the inside, we have our battles. Right? And again, I know you guys are probably thinking like, hey, but where are you going with this, bro? Trust me. All right? On the inside, we have our battles. The war is the big circle. Our inside is our battles. Well, guess what? Right? There's going to be opportunities for us to win some and lose some. All right, so let's say our first battle of the year we win, our second battle of the year we win, our third battle of the year, our third battle of the year we get smacked around. All right, they got one. Okay, and then we go back and we get back into our winning streak. All right, we get our next battle. All right, our next battle right here we win. This battle right here in the middle we lost. Bow. Okay, and then we still going ahead and we're still fighting this war. Why? Because mama ain't raised no pussies. Excuse my language. They ain't raised no punks. Mama ain't raised no punks. All right, so we still going. All right, and then we maybe lose one more bigger battle. Right, but this is how our war of 2023 can look like. All right, there's gonna be times, guys, where they win the battle. Right, there's gonna be weeks, there's gonna be days where they're winning the battle, but as long as we have more wins than they do, then we're gonna win the war. Right, they could win some battles, but they're not gonna overall win the war. I don't know if it's just me that thinks this way, family, but listen, man, I'm very comfortable taking my L's, but I'm also very comfortable giving out L's as well. Right, so even though I do take L's, again, which this week is definitely looking like a losing type of week for me, next week it's going to be time for us to get back. Right, next week is going to be time for us to go ahead and win this next battle. Right, so again, I hope you guys understand this, family. Right, do not dictate your ability to be a profitable trader based off the short-term battles that you're experiencing. Right, because at the end of the day, it's an overall war that we're involved with. Right, we're talking about bigger picture here. Okay. Now, again, this is completely random, and hopefully it made sense. But it's just, you have to think long term. You have to think bigger with this. All right, you can have a losing day, but still have a winning week. This is a bar right here, right? I want you guys to understand this and write this down somewhere. You can have a losing day, losing days, but still win the week. You can have losing weeks, but still win the month. Right? I'm probably, again, unless something happens today, right, I'm probably going to end up having a losing week this week, right, which is going to be my first in a while. But that doesn't mean I'm going to have a losing month. Listen to me closely, right? This is the first week of February. I'm having a losing week right now. But by the end of this month, I'm still going to be in the profit. Why? Because I'm not focused so much on this losing week. I'm not going to just keep on focusing so much on this week, and I'm going to focus on what I can do next week. Right? So again, you can have a losing day but still a winning week. You can have losing weeks but still a winning month. You can have losing months but still win the entire year. Right? Over the course of the whole year, you can still be very much profitable. Perspective, right? Perspective. It's all about perspective at the end of the day. That's why for me, I don't care about having a losing day or a losing week, because I'm focused on making sure my month is good. All right, and even if I do have a bad month, that's fine. I still got the whole rest of the year to remain profitable. Is this making sense, family? Drop some threes in the chat if this is making sense real quick. Drop some threes in the chat if this is making sense. This is gems right here. This is bars. All right, I appreciate you guys for smashing the like button as well. Thank you guys so much. The next goal for the likes. The next goal for the likes family is 200 likes. Let's get it. Let's get it. We can do it. The next goal, 200. The next goal is 200. Let's get it. Let's get it. The next goal is 200. I know we can do it, family. I appreciate y'all so much for showing love as well, by the way. All right, so let's see. Eric got the threes. El Fantasma. I take my L's, but then I spin the block and get back. Exactly. Me too. Right. Shout out to Devin, Ricks, Jose, Feedies. How you doing? Free Zone. Shout out to you guys for dropping those threes. You guys must be the most active. I could tell who's going to be profitable. I could tell who's actually going to see success in trading by how active they are in the chats. There's actually a direct correlation with profitability and activity in the chats. Those that are the most active in the chats are probably going to be the most profitable. Just, hey, listen, don't argue me. Don't argue with me. I'm just stating science. I'm just stating science. That's science, right? The more active you are in the chats, the more profitable you will be. Oh, man. Science. That's all that is. Science. Right? So shout out to Eric. You're going to be profitable. I'm pretty sure Eric might be profitable already. F Fantasma, you're going to be an absolute beast. Right? Devin, my boy, you already got payouts. Right? Ricks, Jose, Feedies, Free Zone, Lodes. You guys are all going to be extremely profitable. I'm excited to see exactly how far you guys go with this, man. But family, again, we do have 5 minutes until news. 5 minutes until news comes out. So we're going to go ahead and just be monitoring all this, see what the market gives us overall. Again, I'm not going to be pushing any buttons just yet. I'm going to let the market do what it does, and then we'll go ahead and see if there's any opportunities after that. Right, but we'll see what happens. Let's see, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Shout out to that boy Science. Listen, how many of y'all know about Bill Nye, man? This is going to tell me how old you are. I'm not even going to lie. Right? Like, how many of you guys actually know who Bill Nye the Science Guy is? Who knows Bill Nye? All right, and I'll be honest, if you answer this question, you're pretty much telling your age. All right, you're pretty much telling your age. Shout out. I do. That's my dog. Love from Pakistan. What's going on? $1. How you doing? Them loud ass videos. Yeah. Yes, sir. Bill Nye is the science guy. Yeah. Yeah. I used to watch it in school. Yeah. I think we all used to watch him in school. I'm with Bill Nye. That's my science dude, man. Shout out to Bill Nye, man. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Bill Nye, the science guy. That's the answer. 5th grade science class was OD. Yeah. We go back, yep. Alright, so let's see, guys. We got about 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes, about 3 minutes left now until we get this release. We're going to watch this in real time, like I said, and see what the market does give us. Let me go ahead and bring up my Profit Society tab as well. Let's see. Caffeine plus freestyle. Yeah, you could tell, right, Eric? I don't got no caffeine in me right now. Because if I did, I would have been creating a whole bunch of raps for y'all. I would have been going crazy. I would have been going crazy with y'all. Literally, I would have been rapping on some wild stuff right now, but it's cool. All right, my wife is on her way home with some coffee for me, so I'm excited about that. All right, let's go to tools. I want to bring out the economic calendar over here. I need to start using this one more. All right, non-farm payrolls. We got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's see what we got. Let's see. He's the GOAT. After Bill came Dexter's Lab. Yo, what's up, Profit Society people? Mad love. Shout out to my brother Joe. What's going on, brother? How are you doing? Family, now this brings up a question, right? Because cartoons, right? How many of you guys are cartoons fans, man? I used to love cartoons back in the day. What's your favorite cartoon? What's your favorite cartoon? Right? What is your guys' favorite cartoon? Because I got some that are going to really make me feel real old. Right? What is your guys' favorite cartoon? Right? One of my favorite cartoons, Rocket Power. Rocket Power is elite. Rocket Power is game changer. Rocket Power is like for the real OGs. Like if you don't know Rocket Power, I'm sorry, you're too young for me, boy. You're too young for me, girl. Jimmy Neutron was another one. Shout out to Devin, man. Jimmy Neutron was elite. Sailor Moon was cool. Tom and Jerry was cool. Tom and Jerry is real gangster. Right, Cat Dog. Cat Dog, yo. I just brought back mad memories, man. Cat Dog was lit. Looney Tunes, Scobby Jabba Juice. What else you guys got, man? The Boondocks. Shout out to the Boondocks. Let's see. The Flintstones was elite. He-Man and the Thundercats was elite. Yo. Y'all's bringing up some real old ones, man. Johnny Bravo. Wow, I haven't heard of Johnny Bravo in forever. What about Eliza and the Wild Thornberries, man? Would you guys messing with Eliza? Eliza and the Wild Thornberries? Would you guys messing with Eliza? Ed and Eddie. That was a classic. Dexter's Laboratory. Yup. George Shrinks. The Regular Shore Courage. Yeah, man. I could tell we got some OGs in the building, man. I could tell we got some OGs in the building. Nowadays, man, these kids don't understand real cartoons, family. But let's go ahead and see what this news comes out as. Right, let's see how the market reacts. Let's see what we got here. Come on, refresh. Non-farm came out at... Whoa, there's no way this is real. So non-farm actually came out at 3.4% unemployment, guys. 517,000. What the hell? Wow, unemployment came out lower. Unemployment came out lower. Hi. There's no way that this number is real. Actual came out at 517K. That is insane. No way. There's no way this came out at 517K. That is insane. Let's see. It did come out at 517K. That's insane. And unemployment dropped. Guys, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't know why the dollar is gaining strength off of this type of data. Because unemployment actually dropped, which is usually a positive thing. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know. I'm tempted, man. I'm tempted, man. Let's see. Let's see what US 30 is doing. I don't know, man. I'm tempted, man. I think I could be wrong. Wow, these things is pushing though. Yeah, I really, let me see. I would be surprised if all this stuff holds. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I would be surprised if this dollar strength holds. I would be surprised if the dollar strength holds. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. All right? But I would be surprised if this dollar holds. Like genuinely surprised. That's a crazy missing numbers though, by the way, for non-farm payrolls, guys. All right, that's a crazy beat on projections. Wow. You know what we're about to do? Let's go to... I know me Kevin is alive or is up. Shout out to that boy Kyle. Also up, man. Let's go watch Kyle real quick. What's Kyle doing, man? Shout out to that boy Kyle, man. But I want to see. This is who I want to see. Let's see what. Let's
farm
see.
Payroll 517,000 compared with an average monthly gain of 401,000. And if you're not a member yet, it's the easiest way in to get lifetime access. It beats paying monthly. So do so before 11:59 Pacific time tonight. All of this will be changed this weekend. Here we go. Jobs data on deck. And it is...
Let's see what my guy...
unemployment rate 3.4. Oh, my... What the hell? 517 change in non-farm payroll, 517,000. Average hourly earnings coming in at 0.3%. It's a match on the month over month, but year over year comes in at 4.4, slightly hot. How the hell did we add 517,000 jobs? The unemployment rate went down. It was supposed to tick up 0.1%. It went down to 3.4%. What the hell is happening?
I'm just confused as you are.
Insanity.
I'm confused just like you are, me, Kevin.
Jobs. I'm not sure if this is like a massive seasonal adjustment or if I can't trust the Bureau of Labor Statistics at all. I mean, maybe that was my first mistake, is suggesting that there was even remotely hope that you could trust them. What the hell? 517,000 jobs? This is insane.
Insane.
I mean, unless there's a reason for this, like a disparity between households and the establishment survey, this is absolutely nuts. And this could potentially be just what we need for the market to plummet today. This is terrible news. What the hell is going on here? Total non-farm payroll rose by 517,000 jobs in January.
Crazy.
The unemployment rate was little changed at 3.4%. Jobs growth was widespread jobs growth, led by leisure and hospitality, professional and business services, healthcare. Employment also increased in government, partially reflecting a return of workers from strikes. The household data was was both the unemployment rate at 3.4 million, the number of unemployed persons at 5.7 million, little changed, little net movement. This is quite bizarre here. See the note at the end of this news release for tables about information about the annual production, population adjustments to the household survey. Among major worker groups, the unemployment rate was 3.2% for adult men, women 3.1%, teenagers 10.3%. Okay, blah, 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 blah. In January, participation rate was 62.4%, and the employment to population rate was 60, not changed. These were unchanged. Okay, fine. Let's see here. Number of persons employed part-time for economic reasons, sitting at 4.1 million, little changed. Not in the labor force was 5.3 million. Okay, little changed. Among those not in the labor force who wanted a job was 1.4 million, changed little in January. This is the strongest jobs report, by the way, since July. Treasury yields are shooting up right now. The stock market's going down. You have a revision of more jobs in the prior months, added 71,000 jobs in the prior 2 months. The year-over-year number missed. This is absolutely insane. Everything's going red right now. This was my warning yesterday. Was all it was going to take was a miss on the jobs report, and you were going to have a poopsie doopsie. This is a massive miss of 320,000 is the miss on this payroll number. This is insane.
That is insane. All right, shout out to that boy Meet Kevin, man. Shout out to Meet Kevin, guys. That is actually a crazy, crazy, crazy miss. A crazy miss right here. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. That's why the markets are reacting so aggressively right now to that release. Like, indices are absolutely tanking. All right. Gold, obviously, it tanked. It's under that 1900, which is really where I wanted to see price get to. But now I got to be a lot more patient, right? Now I definitely want to see how this thing ends up reacting at, because that is extremely, extremely bearish overall for the markets as a whole. So, man, what a freaking report, bro. That is insane. UJ, Eric, I think, Eric, you called out the UJ buys, didn't you? I think it was you. That's why you said UJ. That is insane. Look at this. Look at UJ. UJ is on fire. Right now with this type of report, family, I'm not even gonna lie. I know I said I don't know if the dollar's gonna hold, but I don't know. I think the dollar really might hold, might keep this strength now. At this point now, I think UJ is definitely gonna be on path to go ahead and make up and reach up into that 132 level now at this point, because that is a report right there. Look at this candle, 100 plus pips, 120 pips to the face. GU is absolutely tanking like crazy. Alright, absolutely destroyed all this. Man, that's the type of report, family, that can really cause an overall shift. I'm not even gonna lie. That's the type of report that can cause an overall shift in sentiment. That was an interesting report for sure. Right, so now let's see if right, again, I am on the dollar time on the dollar itself, guys, looking at the dollar. right? If we continue this dollar strength throughout the rest of the day, and if we do end up breaking, guys, above levels of structure, right? Like if we end up breaking above, say, these levels right here on the dollar itself, then we might have to just start to anticipate more so dollar strength continuations. Right now, we can really start to potentially think that the market might actually start to rebound if this holds. Again, I'm still a little on the sidelines from both. Right, I see it not holding, but I also could see this continuing. And if it continues, then I think we could realistically start to go ahead and see a lot of dollar strength really enter the market, and we could potentially start to target a lot of these areas, these previous highs that have left behind a ton of liquidity. All right, so if this does hold, which again, as of right now, obviously it's only been 10 minutes since the news, but this thing is super strong. If we do take out this first level of liquidity, then we're probably going to continue to take out the rest of them, right? And that could be the start of an overall shift back to dollar strength overall more than anything. Okay. Now, again, keep in mind, right? Why did the news come out that way? Well, let's just talk about it from an unemployment standpoint, right? They were expecting unemployment to actually increase. It actually dropped, right? So it was at 3.5%. They were expecting it to go to 3.6. It went to 3.4. A lower unemployment, is that going to help fight inflation? Yes or no? Let me know what you guys think in the chat, family. Right? Lower unemployment, is that going to help fight inflation? Yes or no? Because remember, the main objective, guys, that the Federal Reserve have right now is to try to, again, keep on fighting inflation. That's their overall goal, is to continue to fight inflation. Does this help their whole goal of fighting inflation? Yes or no? Right? Because answering that idea or answering that question is going to help us understand what the market can do moving forward. Right? Because when news benefits the path or the idea of the Federal Reserve, then that's when we see positive news come out. But when data comes out that does not help out with what the Federal Reserve's main objective is, we're going to see the market react a certain way. Yeah, free zone. We are back to risk off. At least currently, as of right now, it looks like we might be back to risk off sentiment if this dollar strength continues to hold. Right? Because again, a lower unemployment is not good, especially if your whole objective is to fight inflation. A lower unemployment means that there's more people working than previous reading. There's more people employed. More people employed means more people have access to money. More access to money means more people are going to spend. And spending, right, makes up a big majority of the CPI data itself. Right? Consumer spending, guys, plays a massive part in trying to control inflation. So if we have lower unemployment, more people working, more people have access to capital, us as U.S., as Americans, we are just consumers by default. We're going to be spending that money. So that's not going to help fight inflation. That is why the market is reacting the way that it is. Right? The market is reacting because unemployment dropped. Again, we have to understand, guys, market conditions play a massive role in this. We are still dealing with high CPI, high inflation, around 6-7%. Our goal is 2%. But if we're seeing unemployment continue to drop, then it's kind of hard to really have faith in the fact that inflation is probably going to continue to. I mean, inflation has been going lower, and it could, but that's not going to bring confidence into the markets. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's see. Is it because it increases spending? Yeah, it just means more people have access to more money. All right, if more people are working, they're getting paid, they're going to spend it. All right, so yeah, an increase in spending is going to mean an increase in inflation. More spending, right? More spending, the more demand. when there's more demand, usually the price increases. Is this making sense, family? Again, I like to think of things from a fundamental standpoint so you guys are prepared of it, right? But does that make sense, right? An increase in spending is going to cause the demand for goods to increase as well. And as demands increase, that is what causes the inflation to increase, CPI to increase. So that's why they wanted unemployment to increase, right? They wanted unemployment to go higher. Less people have access to capital, less spending. Hopefully the demand isn't as crazy, right? So that's a very, very, very interesting thing, right? Let's see what's going on here. Let's go take a look at the markets real quick, right? Because these things is absolutely on fire right now, right? UJ is absolutely on fire. UJ is absolutely on fire. USD CAD absolutely on fire. Euro USD. I mean, all of these things, guys, are just going crazy right now. Gold is going to hell at this point. Look at gold. Gold is dropping to hell. Wow. Crazy thing is, that's my favorite candlestick, too, up there. My favorite candlestick. That candlestick always plays out, I promise y'all. Man, this thing is going crazy. Now, again, I did tell you guys I wanted to look for the shorts. But I told you guys I wanted to see if there was a way for us to either spike up into this level first. We also had a higher level as well that we pretty much marked off. But I wanted to see if we could spike up into here first before we sell off. But this thing just said, nope, not today. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Glad I'm here, Abel. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, Bruce. I appreciate you as well. All right. GU. Yeah, GU is going insane, guys. Like I don't know about y'all, but there's no way I'm gonna be trying to get involved in any of this right now. I'm on the sidelines chilling. I'm on the sidelines watching. All right, because this thing is nuts. Let me go see if the boy Kyle is. Let's see what the boy Kyle looking like.
I don't know, like guys, like it's at a point now, where I'm realizing like you will get your results a lot faster if you actually don't like yes, the analysis of course and the charts are important and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you understanding how you were programmed and how you were raised. Because I come from a family that didn't have much, well, I'm up a bag and you kind, but I come from a family that didn't have much, and I'll tell you the program.
Let's get it, family.
A big part of what hindered some of my of me having results a lot faster. So I want you guys to really keep that in mind and understand that honestly, Kyle, like he has you guys in great hands.
I was about to say this does not sound like Kyle.
Doing the stream, it's such a blessing, to have him like doing that for you guys, and he's never failed to provide value and be there for his people. So you got, it makes sense.
That's crazy. Family, I want you guys to go over here.
Since end of 2019, beginning of.
Family, I want you guys to go to Kyle's channel right now.
Yeah,
go to Kyle's stream, and just show love, man. Show love to my boy Kyle. This is also somebody. This is 1/4 of the Private Society right here. Also my little bro. Started trading with us at 15 years old. 15 years old. He was trading. Now he's 20. And the boy's still super young, right? 20 years old. But I feel like he's an OG in the game.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. So go ahead and let's go to Child's stream, family. Say Abel sent me. But yo, Abel sent me, and we gonna just see what the hell they talking about real quick, right? Go in the chat. Go in his chat and type in Abel sent me. And let's go ahead and let's get his viewers up there. All right. Shout out to that boy Kyle, man. Shout out to that boy Kyle, man.
Let you guys know that level is kind of invalidated for me. Like I said, if we can tap up to.
All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on here, guys. So just really I think this strength just looks like it's gonna continue. I'm not even gonna lie, like this strength just looks like it's going to continue, guys. Overall, so if you're not in anything as of right now, you gotta be patient. Right, there's really not much that we can do right now, right? We gotta just be extremely patient, allow the market to do what it has to do at this point. And then the moment we can see some type of a pullback, we'll be able to go ahead and get involved. But other than that, yeah, there's really not much that we can do. I think now, again, remember what I said though, right? If we do end up continuing bullish, right, then we could see this thing possibly really start to give us a lot more of a massive shift, right? This type of release, guys, can really be the cause of a massive shift in the market overall, right? Literally. So I'm chilling. I'm on the sidelines. Again, I already took my L's for the week. I'm not gonna, risk no more. For me, my rules. If I ever lose 5% in a day, I'm done trading for that day. If I lose 8% in a week, I'm done trading for the entire week. I didn't lose the entire 8%, but I did lose around maybe, I would say 6% this week. All right, so I'm chilling. I'm not taking anything. I'm not gonna force anything. I'm just gonna be letting the market do what it does. All right, I'm not gonna add any more to it. I'm just gonna, allow my thoughts to do what they do, and come back, next week ready to absolutely dominate. Let's see. Probably hop in indices shorts after 9:30. We do got 9:30 as well. Still, this is interesting, guys. Right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you can get a pullback on some of these assets, then you might be able to do something. But even now, like, this is going to be tough, right? Trying to short after such a strong move already, it's a little risky, right? Because you don't know if it can continue. You don't know if we're going to start to see a pullback, right? So trying to sell at these levels, I mean, even if we're looking at indices, it's definitely a little tougher. It's definitely a little bit of a tough thing. I mean, here we're starting to see these. Hold on, let me see what we got here. I don't know. Actually, do we got a chance here on these indices? It's gonna be so risky, man. I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to do it, family. I'm over here tempted. I'm like, man, should we actually get into this? Is there a chance for us to go ahead and get involved? I don't know. I can't do it though, family. I'm not gonna do it. I'm chilling. I'm on the sidelines, right? I'm not pressing no buttons today. But man, let's see what else we got here. GJ starting to fly. Again, I do believe GJ itself, guys, can also really. I wanted to see it come a little bit lower. But it looks like this thing might actually just start pushing up higher, and that's fine. Again, I'm not in anything, so it is what it is. All right, let's see what else we got here. AUDUSD, EURUSD. Yo, like, I'm so tempted, man. Degenerate mode, yeah, you got. Like, even this right here, right? Like, this is. Like, I know a lot of traders are probably looking at this UJ like, man, look at this trend line, bro. If this trend line holds, man, we can go ahead and take this trade. For me, I'm like, oh, man, the more reactions off of this trend line, the more visible that trend line is, which means the more liquidity on the other side. So even if we do see a little bit of a pullback, I'm still expecting continuations. Wow, what a move, though. What a move.
And I looked at my phone, but I was like, damn, like, I'm not on my iPad or my laptop or anything to really check this, because I like, with me, since I've been trading obviously for a couple of years, like, I don't always just take any setup at all. Like, I like to also confirm the setup, So it's not that I don't trust him or anything, but I just looked at it and I didn't really.
Shout out to that boy Sean John as well, man. He over there teaching on Kyle's channel. Shout out to that boy Sean John. Appreciate you, bro. Another young savage. All right, he's not as young as Kyle, but he's definitely still young as well, man. Shout out to them boys over there on Kyle's channel, man. Shout out to them boys, man.
100 pips on you.
And I appreciate y'all too.
Like, what the hell? Like, I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, like, like, I wonder what he saw. So that same day, after I missed that setup, I went and back tested, what.
Let's see, family. Do we take a degenerate trade or not? You think we should take a degenerate trade or no? Or should we be disciplined? Should we turn degenerate mode on? or keep it off? I'm going based off what you guys say. Should we turn degenerate mode on or off? Cause I'm with the shits. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm with the shits. I'm with it. What are you guys thinking? Just a small one? D-gen? I'm with it. Let's see. Biggest lesson I learned is all major news spike the market. It can cause a slip. Off. There we go. That's smart. Let's see. Small lot. Leave it on. Chill. Okay. And by the way, that was a test to see how many of y'all is not disciplined or not. Right? That was a test. Listen. I'm good on being a deegan right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm already done. Listen. I already took my bruises this week. I ain't gonna add on to it. But that was a test to see how many undisciplined deegans are in the chat. And y'all just fell for the trap. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all just fell for the trap. Come on, family. We know better than that, man. We know better than try to chase the markets just because we're trying to get excited. Like, come on, man. We gotta be disciplined. Like, don't chase the excitement of a trade. Like, chase the discipline. Chase the discipline. Right? Now, I'm down, so I'm good. I like what D. Warner just said, though. Right? Demon mode since I'm up 8%. If you are in profit for the week and you wanted to go ahead and throw some stabs at the market, listen, do your thing. Right? You do your thing. All right? If you're up for the week already and you have maybe a percent or two that you're willing to risk, you do your thing. You figure out what looks the best for you and you push that button. But for me, I'm already down. I refuse to add on to the downness that I'm down already. Like, I'm good. I'm chilling, right? I'm not gonna be forcing anything whatsoever. So I'm chilling. All right, let's see. You chase, you die. I'm telling you. If your risk management on point, it doesn't matter. That's true. And my risk management is on point to a level where I know I shouldn't do it. So I'm chilling. All right, I'm chilling. Cause this is like essentially, even though it's possible, this is like essentially trying to catch a falling knife right now. All right, like I want you guys to go in your kitchen right now. Go in your kitchen right now, and grab a knife. I'm not even gonna lie. This is my favorite candle too. Like I love this candlestick right here. This engulfing, right? That has the little tail that oversees the I love that candlestick though. But I want you guys to go to your kitchen right now, grab a knife, throw the knife in the air, and try to catch it. Try to catch it. And try to catch it with confidence. Let me know how that goes for y'all. All right, now I don't want nobody trying to call the cops saying, Abel told me to do it. First of all, you grown. All right, you choose to do what you want. But I'm telling y'all right now, go in the kitchen, get your sharpest knife, throw it in the air, and try to catch it with your hand. Because that's essentially what it's going to be like trying to catch these trades right here. All right, it's the same process right here. Somebody said I'm bleeding. He use a butter knife. You guys are probably thinking like Abel's tripping. Listen, this is exactly what it's like when you guys are trying to catch trades after such a strong move. Like this is trying to catch a falling knife. Hell nah. Hell nah. I'm good. I'm trying to catch a falling knife. Like, no. But yeah, that's hilarious. He said I'm bleeding. Yo, Rod, you're hilarious. Let's see. A fish knife will do. Listen, I want you guys to use your sharpest knife, right? Because when you guys are over here trying to take these type of entries, like this right here, more times than not everybody, but more times than not, most of y'all is using your biggest lot size, right? Like you guys are going heavy, right? You guys are like, oh man, let's catch this. Let's throw 10 lots. Let's throw this 10 lots, man. Let's catch this thing. So don't try to say, oh, nah, I'm not catching no falling knife in real life, Abel. But yet you're willing to do it on the charts every single day. Cut it out. Cut the cap. All right, it's the same exact thought process. So if you're not willing to catch a falling knife in real life, right? Like if you're not willing to throw a knife up and try to grab it with your real hands, why are you so willing to take jabs in this market right now? Why are you so willing to go ahead and jump in right now? Like, I know some of y'all couldn't even help yourselves. I know some of y'all probably did take these jabs. I know some of y'all right now in the background like, I don't care what Abel's saying. Let me go ahead and push this button. Man, I gotta go back up, bro. It's gotta go back up. Look at this. It don't gotta do a damn thing. But take your money. I'm telling y'all. All right. So again, if you're not willing to catch a falling knife in real life, stop trying to chase this. Stop trying to chase it. Even if it does pull back up, that's good news. Then try to align with what the bias is. If you still think it's gonna be bearish. Come on now, family. All right, I'm good on catching a falling knife. So I'm chilling, right? My hands is nice and soft. I got some good hands, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good on it. I'm good on trying to catch a falling knife. I'm chilling. And you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let my bruises heal over the weekend, and I'm going to come back next weekend and absolutely slap the crap out of these markets next weekend. Right? Because now these markets owe. Right? Now these markets owe, right? They're not going to make me fall for the trap. But now they owe. And you best believe we going to go ahead and we going to make it back up. That's for damn sure. Are you guys with me, family? Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys are with me. All right, are you guys with me, or are you guys trying to catch falling knives? How many of you guys are trying to catch a falling knife right now? Let's be real. Be honest with me. Come on now, baby. We in here? Yeah. All right. How many of y'all is catching a falling knife, though? Come on now. Let's see, Abel. I have tried to catch falling knives. I used to look like Michael Jackson zipper jacket. I grew to the point I could sit with an account full of paper and not move. Yeah, exactly, right? Let's see. Somebody good week can be taken and given to another guy who had a bad week. 100%, Eric. That's a fact. Let's see. I was already in EURUSD. Clean buys. Okay. EURUSD. Oh, man. That thing is moving. Let's go. Let's go, Moon. I love it, man. I love seeing people winning, man. I get a lot more excited when I see y'all win, even more so than I see myself win. I genuinely get excited when I see y'all winning, man. Like, that excites the hell out of me. Like, let's freaking go. Like, I treat that as if it's like my account. Like, when y'all is winning and y'all is in profit, like, I look at it as if I'm in profit. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Let's see. It hurts. Yo, Ron, you are hilarious. Abel, what's the next piece of news that could change this kind of sentiment? I mean, the next few news releases that we have coming up, I wonder when the next CPI reading is. We can actually take a look at that real quick as well. Right, so let's see what we got. So this week overall was a hectic news. Let's see what we got next week. Next week, do we have anything? Next week, we have the interest rate for the Aussie. Let's see. Federal Child. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking next week. German CPI. We have some GDP news for the actual pound. So nothing crazy overall so far. But like, I think the biggest news event that we have coming up is probably going to be this next CPI reading, which is on the 14th. So this is going to be the big boy now. Now the markets is going to start. The news already came out, right? The market already reacted to the news. Now we got to start thinking past the news, right? Thinking past the news, family, is this. CPI, all right? On Tuesday, February 14th, right, which I believe is Valentine's Day. I believe it's, 14th. Is the 14th Valentine's Day? I know I'm not tripping. Right, so the 14th, I believe, is Valentine's Day, but we have this news event now that the market is going to start positioning for. Right, it's going to start to price in whatever it expects to actually come out on this release. Okay, as of right now, they are expecting CPI to come out at 6.5%, which is what it's been at. All right, it was just at 6.5% last reading, and they're expecting it to come out at 6.5% again. I would be shocked if it comes out exactly at 6.5 again. Shocked. Right, but this is going to be the major one that the market is going to start pricing in. CPI. Okay, CPI. Remember that. All right, and not only do we have CPI for the U.S., but we also got CPI for the pound, right, as well, which is also, again, something for all you pound traders. If you guys like pound yen, right, pound dollar, you know, this is stuff you want to be aware of, right? 10.5%. Their CPI is absolutely insane still. So this is going to be a massive, massive event for the pound. Is CPI finally starting to turn around, or is this just continuously ticking higher and higher, right? Because they're at 10.5%. That is crazy. But yeah, these are the ones that we got to look for, but that's not until 2 weeks from now, right? So about 13 days, 12 days, we'll get to there. Let's see. That trading journal is, if you haven't joined this Pro Trader Bootcamp, you're sleeping. In and out. Trading journal is a must. Facts. In and out. $80. See you next week. Let's go, D Warner. I love it. Kyle had so much juice this morning. I agree. That boy Kyle be juicing. Let's see. Skaggs NAS. When did that for me? Because we both took the same trade. Let's go. This week was snatching souls. It definitely was, right? It was definitely a very crazy week for me. Is the 10 a.m. news significant for today? The 10 a.m. news itself, manufacturing PMI, could definitely bring some type of more volatility for sure. Because again, PMI, guys, is just pretty much a gauge, right? It's like a survey or a gauge that is used to determine if producers, right, business owners, technically purchasing managers, if they're actually still going ahead and purchasing, right? So this is for the non-manufacturing sector, right? And if we do come above 50, this 50, right? If we actually come out above 50, right, which right now they're predicting 50.4, that means that the non-manufacturing sectors are actually expanding, which is usually a good thing. Okay, if it comes out lower than 50, that means it's usually contracting. That sector is contracting. Okay, so above 50, that means that these business owners are still buying because they might think that, sales are going to pick up for whatever reason. Under 50, that means that they are not doing as much buying, right? They are not purchasing as much, which is usually not a good thing, right? That is going to lead to contraction in the markets. So yeah, this could very well definitely add some more volatility. So, we'll end up having to see how that actually ends up coming out. But it is something that could shake the markets for sure, right? So we have CPI, we have PPIs, right? We have NFPs, right? There's so many different events that we are dealing with. Okay. So many different events that we're dealing with that have influence over these markets for sure, right? And PMI is definitely one of them. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out as well, family. What's up, baby? You got banana? Yeah, go eat your banana somewhere else. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You saying thank you? Thank you. Throw that in the garbage. Go throw that in the garbage. Thank you. I love having kids, man. I love having kids, man. How many of you guys got kids in the chat, family? How many of you guys are parents? How many of you guys are parents, family? Let me know in the chat. All right, because I love my kids, man. I swear I love my kids. Those are my babies for sure. All right, so besides that, though, family, again, the market itself is probably just going to continue. I know some of you guys are definitely looking at opportunities to go ahead and get short. If you do decide to fade off some of these, some of these releases, just go super low risk, right? Just go super low risk, family, if you guys are going to try to fade off these levels. Because I know some of you guys are definitely degenerates. I know some of you guys are definitely trying to fade off some of these moves. So if you guys are, again, just lower your risk a little bit. Don't try to go too heavy at all, family. Like 0.5% should be the most that you're going to be risking on this. And if you are going to try to fade it off, at least give yourself the best chance by looking at maybe a spike above an area of supply and demand. Wait for a massive liquidity grab first before you try to fade it off, if you guys are trying to do that. But for me, I'm chilling. My week is done. I'm not going to enter no more trades for this week. I'm chilling on the sidelines. And I'm just going to go ahead and, like I said, just, take this weekend to think about what happened this week. I'm going to look over my trading journal tomorrow and just really, fine-tune exactly what went right and what went wrong, right? Did I do something outside of my plan? Did I follow my plan to the T? Or was it just one of those weeks where the market was just whooping my ass, all right? It is what it is, right? It's bound to happen, all right? So that's my plans for this weekend. I'm going to be going over my trade journal, seeing exactly what trades I took, seeing what went right, what went wrong, and then I'll just be ready for Sunday and Monday to, come back into the markets and do what I do. So that's my plans. All right, but besides that though, family, I do appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for jumping on today. It wasn't more so of a random stream. I am going back live again next week on Asian session with y'all. Right, so next week I will be live again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Asian. I'm gonna start to get back into that again now that we launched the Profit Society, and I look forward to seeing you guys all on the Asian stream with me, guys. Right, we're about to go ahead and go crazy. Let's see, I have 3 more hours before my day is, and I was cool kicking with you, though. I appreciate you for jumping in, Phantasma. I truly do. Let's see, are you having a Sunday session, right? So, yeah, we know the Profit Society as a whole, I said as a whole. The Profit Society as a whole, you know, we do always go live on Sundays. So I will be going live on Sunday as well. Hold on. She want to get up in the camera and stuff, right? So I will be going live on Sunday as well with the team, so make sure to show up. You know, we always go on Sunday, and we always, you know, have a lot of deep conversations as to what we believe the market can do, right? But family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. As you guys can see, I gotta go be a father for a little bit. And thank you guys for jumping on. If y'all need me, go ahead and follow my Instagram. My Instagram is right here. It's Abel Melendez. Send me a message and I'll answer any question you guys got. But our family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys a little bit later. And I guess she wants to sing bye to y'all. Let's get it. All right, y'all.